a skilled workforce available to them in a moment's notice. And in Americus, we're also grateful for their willingness in our community, this agreement of and the willingness of this wonderful community to bring them in as a business partner. Over the last couple of weeks, the PDA board members and I have got to know Eugene and Dwayne very, very well. They're hard-working, successful entrepreneurs with strong family values, a sense of community, and a tremendous work ethic. They're fond of our community, and they're great additions to our business sector. They're our kind of people. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Eugene and Dwayne Sack, the new owners of Caravel Powerboat.
My brother Dwayne, there's a big difference between the two of us. I always call I'm the pen, he's the hammer. So my brother Dwayne, his wife and two daughters, Julie, Emma Claire, and Molly Marie, and then my wife Ginger and my son Ethan. Thank y'all for hosting us. I want to tell kind of a story, if I could. 2 weeks ago, when we finalized the acquisition of Caravel, we had 6 forklifts, 18 trucks, and about 14 men scheduled for the 11th. We were relocating. There was not a doubt in our minds that we were relocating. We actually own a facility in Florence, Alabama, that currently holds an elevator company that we were going to be relocating into a 3rd building. And we were gone, I mean, as I would say to anyone in Americus. And Mr. Ty Turner from SB&T Bank walked in at 4:15 in the afternoon on the 8th, just as we were finalizing our documents. And I want to give him his due, because he's not in this room, he's not a member of any of the committees, but he walked in, put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Hi, Mr. Ty Turner. I work here at the bank. Would y'all mind staying in Americus?" And my first answer was, "No, I appreciate it, but thank you." And he says, "No, really, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I asked y'all to give us an opportunity." Within 10 minutes, we had a meeting scheduled with Mr. Garriga and Wally Summers next morning. At 8 a.m., we spent, I think, about 2 hours toward our existing facilities. And when he knew that we needed, in our discussions, we quickly went to about a new assembly. And our properties in Alabama, where we intended to start not only just what they call glass manufacturing, the core products, but also new assembly. And we needed upgraded facilities from what Caravel's had in the past. In 2 hours, it went from there's not even a glimmer of hope for Americus to retain these to let's meet at 11:45 for a working lunch. And more surprisingly is when we showed up to this working lunch, which we thought would be Mr. Summers and Mr. Garriga, Mr. Harris, Mr. Donnelly, and Mr. Hall all appeared at different times to say, you know, please stay. And we just fell into an informal discussion about what it might take. Within 2 days, we started moving forward with some outline. And what I saw as far as an outreach, now keep in mind, each day we were putting off these trucks and people. The forklifts were delivered, but everything else was sitting there. And Rusty Houston and Craig started their conversations, because there was relocation plans for them, and how many people could we take from this community and relocate to Alabama. We've been here 20 years, we have a skilled workforce. We're a small enough community that we haven't had dilution of that workforce, and there are tradespeople still here that haven't moved on to other opportunities. To a package that worked, being hosted, and I can't give enough credit to the people that I've just named about keeping us here and keeping Caravel here. We're excited to have Caravel here. We're excited to resume operations and get back to what Caravel was 2 years ago. The demand is coming back in the boating industry nationwide. I had the opportunity 3 days after ownership to go to the National Boat Show, and there's dealers all around the country that are ready to start taking delivery and place orders. It's the right time of the year to ramp up. If we would have waited another 6 weeks, we might have missed some opportunities. There's some seasonality to the industry. But without those people, we wouldn't be here today. So yes, we have been, there's been outreach, there's been incentives, there's been skill, all those things that go into the business decision. But I really have to give so much credit to the 5-7 people that have reached out and kept our arm twisted to be here. Any questions for us? I just have to tell that story. It's a great story. I've been on the Industrial Development Board in my area. We're going to go back home at night, leave early in the morning so they don't see us. You know, the truth of it, I'm the chairman of the Downtown Business Club in Florence, Alabama. And Thursday night, this last week, was our meeting, and we're on the front page of the paper in our hometown. SAC Say Yes to Caravel, talking about the opportunity for 200 jobs there in the Shoals. And last Thursday night we walk in, the athletic director from University of North Alabama, about 45 men in the business club and their guests, and every one of them was, "Congratulations, when do y'all start production?" I said, "Well, we've already kind of started production in Americus." And it was more surprising. The response was saddened and a little bit frustrated as a community to think that those jobs were coming home and now they're not. And I only speak to that is it had a lot to do with the outreach that was here, and then all the values, especially the current workforce that's here too. Because in the end, the incentive packages, they are what they are, and they're competitive. But it really has to do with the people that are going to be building boats for us.